So let me reduce the background music a bit, but we're not going to stop it. Okay, so guys, welcome everybody. Isaac, please. Okay, so guys, let's start. So if you remember, I like to start, we like to repeat things here because repetition is the mother of learning, right? Repetition is the mother of learning. And a friend of mine, FZ, said that one of the language of a new of an profitable trader is show me something new. And I believe that is true because people like to see something new. Right, so if you go through our last commentary we had, you should not even have issues with this week at all. The last commentary we had last week, we broke down a thought process from the daily. If daily rejects a daily key level, for example, an A-shaped key level, daily rejects a daily key level, you have to go one time frame lower to look for like the 4 hours, right? You want to see the 4 hours give to you a breakout, or many a times you see the 4 hour give to you a sweep and a break, right? And many a times when you see that the 4 hour gives to you a breakout, if you move one time frame lower, after this 4 hour breakout, you will see the 1 hour will give to you a sweep and a break. So on the 4 hours where you get a breakout, right, the 1 hour it is going to be a liquidity sweep and a break of structure. So we're able to establish this fact. And one of the things we did last week was that I laid emphasis on. So just follow, right? So you see that we repeat the same thing every time. So if you look at what we said here, right, this is the weekly time frame. So on the weekly time frame last week, right, we were talking about, many of us remember this price action. We're doing a clean case study of this, right? So let's quickly run through what this gold is doing on the weekly time frame. So you will find out that there are three types of key levels we have always known, right? The V shape, the A shape, the V shape, and also the open close, right? The open close is when two consecutive candles to the downside or two consecutive candles to the upside, where the open price and the closing price actually overlaps, right? So we call it the open close key level. So this is what we mean, right? By so we know what's the open close key level, right? So if you look at what gold did here, right, you would notice that we had two consecutive candles to the downside that created an open close here, right? So you see what price did. We didn't just engulf, right? So contextually, you will see that we engulfed this one, right? And we also broke above the open close that was created by these two consecutive candles, right? So I've also taught us in previous times that after you see price engulfs and breaks above an open close that was created by two consecutive candles, I've said it that the previous weekly low or the previous daily low can actually serve as internal range liquidity, right? So you have prices coming back to that internal range liquidity. So you see that this is a V-shaped key level that was created. So what did price do here? All right, it brings us back to the memory. It brings us back to what we know that price only seeks to do, to attack liquidity and to rebalance and hold imbalance. Now, in a situation like this, there was no imbalance to be rebalanced, right? So, but you can see this next weekly candle served as internal range liquidity. Price came back to tap this key level. Why did we play this key level? Two things contextually. Two consecutive candles to the downside created an open close, price engulfed this particular candle and also broke above this internal range liquidity. And last context that we are adding to this move is that this current weekly candle served as internal range liquidity. So price is seeking to either attack liquidity or attack liquidity and rebalance and hold imbalance. So price took out this previous weekly low, right, which served as our internal range liquidity, played out from this key level and we started to move to the upside. Now, if you pay attention to what price did here, move to the line chart, we love to pay attention to the most recent breakout. So when we look at this most recent breakout on the line chart, you will see that we had a body to body breakout, right? When we broke out on the body to body, right, you would notice that one of the things you would notice here, you can see we have a key level here, right? We have this open close, right? So let's keep our charts clean. So you see that the first key level that we have here is an open close. So don't forget on the line chart, we already broke out. So this is the most recent breakout on the weekly time frame. So we have this open close that was created, right? We had a continuation buys here that happened here. So after this first week, played out from this V-shaped key level, the third week, right, which was the second week, played from this. Look at this. If you move to the line chart, this is a V-shaped key level. So price played out from there. So you would know that the most fresh and recent key level that is still price is here to play is still this open close, right? You can see we still have this particular open close that is resting here. So contextually, we have broken out. This is the most recent breakout on a weekly time frame. This open close is still resting. But the question is, we didn't get a deep retracement. Did you notice how we didn't get a deep retracement back to this place, right? If you remember one of the things I said, I told us that every week on the higher time frame, which is something that one of our guys, Dixon, we give to him the credit, right? One of the things that Dixon taught us in the private group, he told us that every week on the higher time frame, when you investigated that same week on the lower time frame, it's a body that forms a key level, right? So you see, the reason why we didn't get a deep retracement here to this open close key level was because you can see we have our weekly most recent breakout. We also have this key level, this week that is resting. Your price came back here, and you can see until this particular conditions, right, was already fulfilled. So you can see we came until we took out this most recent weekly high. So if you pay attention to, did we get shots? Yes, we had shots, right? So where did the shots come from? You can also see it again, right? The shot is going to be short term, right? Because we have not really seen a break to the downside on the weekly time frame, right? So we swept this previous weekly high, which is a form of liquidity, right? After sweeping the previous weekly high, two things that I always say is very important whenever we want to build bias on the higher time frame: how candle reacts and how candle closes. So you see on the weekly time frame here, we didn't take out any key level here, right? What we did on the weekly time frame was that we took out this previous weekly high, right? After taking out the previous weekly high, we still pay attention to candle closure. How did this candle close? It closed below, right? Now that we know that it has closed below, what did we see that price created for us, right? It created an A-shaped key level that is resting here, right? So you can see this A-shaped key level, price came back to play it. This was the A-shaped key level that price came back to play. So you see there was a particular week, all through that week, we had sales before we started our buys, right? So if you pay attention to the buy continuations again, many of us will remember that I was speaking to us last week about this most recent breakout, because this is the structural high that got broken on weekly, right? On gold, this is the most recent structural high that got broken here, right? So if you look at this, you can see where it got broken, right? So what did you pay attention to here, right? You will pay attention to, so where is the most recent breakout? Number one, we broke above this particular high. Number two, if we move to the line chart, you will see the order flow, right? The order flow was like this: higher low, higher high, higher low high, higher low, higher high. So you see that we had our most recent breakout here again, right? This was another breakout that happened here. This one, you can see we broke out here. So when you pay attention to how price repeats itself again, what did you find here? Two consecutive candles to the downside created an open close. Price engulfed this previous candle and also broke above this open close. What did you find here as well? So our most recent breakout on the weekly time frame was here. This is the most recent breakout. If you move to the line chart, you can spot this most recent breakouts that we have here. This is the most recent breakout that we have, right? So you can see price broke. Oh God, we are still on the weekly time frame. We've not even gone any far. So you can see on the weekly time frame, we broke this. This is our most recent breakout already, right? So if you come back, what did you find? The same thing we had here, right, was the same thing we are having here. Two consecutive candles to the downside created an open close for us. So contextually, why should we be buying, right? We have two consecutive candles to the downside created an open close, right? Then we also engulfed. So with the engulfing, we engulfed this previous candle. We also broke above these two consecutive candles to the downside that created an open close. So where did price come back to again, right? If you move to the line chart, you will see that we had a V-shaped key level, right? Our V-shaped key level. So like we always make mention of it, that, the first thing first, since this is the weekly time frame, right, you will see that the entire weekly expansion was actually to the upside. So what did you notice that happened here? We played out from this weekly key level on the V-shape. You can see how we closed above, tapped into it, we had the reactions, we closed above from that particular key level, right, which signifies for us that we're going to continue to get more buying opportunities, right? So if you pay attention to the most recent weeks again, right, the same way we came from this point, right? In fact, even if you don't use this most recent structural break that we had here, just pay attention to all of these breaks here that you have. Look at this. This is the most recent break that we have on the weekly. This is the most recent break that we have on the weekly. This is the next most recent break that we also had on the weekly. Are you seeing it? And the moment we keep breaking all of those most recent highs, we broke here with a body impulsive move. We broke here with a body impulsive move. Look at this as well. The third one, we also broke here. So the most recent break, right? You can see the most recent break on the weekly time frame again was this particular high, right, that we broke. The moment we broke that particular high with an impulsive move, right, you can see that the next key level that price has created for us is this V-shaped key level that was here, that is being created here. So now, are we expecting price to give to us like a deep retracement? No, this week exactly, we're not even expecting to see like a deep retracement here, right? The same thing we said here, right? We said it last week in the last commentary, if you watch it, right, that a week on the higher time frame, if you investigate it on the lower time frame, is a body that forms a key level, right? So if you look at the same thing here, what would you notice here? This is a week on the higher time frame, weekly time frame. So we had this contextually, we had this weekly breakout. You can see this particular week here on the weekly, which is also going to serve as a body that forms a key level on a body that forms a key level on the lower time frame. So what did price do? Tapped into it, and you can see how price continued to move. So for us to be able to, just pay attention to the overall direction, right? We just want to pay attention. With this. If I just know this person, I'll remove the person straight. So one of the things we want to be able to do, right, like the most easiest way, remember one of the things I always say is, I would never spite the work of anybody, but you would never see us marking out like an order block like this, right? We're not expecting price to come there to wait for confirmations and all of those things. No, we have specific areas we want to see price react from, right? We have specific areas we want to see price react from, either from an A shape, a V shape, or an open close, right? We have areas that are exactly that we know that these are the places we want to see price react from. So building bias from the weekly time frame is even very simple, especially on the daily, right? Pay attention to the most recent breakout, right? You can see this is the most recent breakout. It broke out with an impulsive move to the downside, created a key level, price came back there, and we continue to rally, right? We had another breakout here again. Price came back to this one, and we continue to move to the upside. So if you come back to the daily time frame, that reaction that we had on the weekly, this reaction that you can see here. Are we together? Are we following? All right. So you can see this reaction that we can see. What can you see? Right. You see that on the daily time frame, this was the same setup I shared with us. Right. If you go back to that, our commentary from last week. So what did I tell us about key levels like this? Pay attention to this, right? Move to the line chart. You'll find out that this is an order flow that is moving to the upside. The order flow is to the upside because the most recent breakout even here on the daily is to the upside. So we have a V-shaped key level that got disrespected with an impulsive move to the upside, right? And the beautiful thing for us is that contextually, it is also overlapping inside of an imbalance. And I've told us that when you see a setup like this, right, it brings to mind two things. That the market wants to do two things: attack liquidity and rebalance and hold imbalance. And I always say, ask yourself a question. If price is coming to rebalance and hold imbalance, right, at what pricing level is price coming to rebalance that particular imbalance, right? That is when we begin to look for key levels that are overlapping inside of an imbalance, right? Look at this particular V-shape. It's an A-shape key level here, right? This one that was tested here. You can see how it was tested here once. We sold for 2 days at least because this is the daily time frame. But you can see how it got disrespected with an impulsive move to the upside, right? So this brings us back to the same thing we have always been talking about. What can you find? We have an imbalance that needs to go here. This daily candle, right? This week low is going to serve as our what? It's going to serve as our internal range liquidity. So it brings us back to the two primary assignments of the marketplace: to attack liquidity and also to rebalance and hold imbalance. So every time we see that liquidity is going to be attacked and imbalance is going to be rebalanced, ask yourself, at what specific pricing level do you want to see price rebalance? This is the key level that is overlapping inside of that imbalance that needs to be rebalanced. Right, I shared this thing with us on GU. I shared with us on how GU played out last week, everything. So you can see on if we investigate this, right, look at this. This is the daily time frame. Key level that got disrespected. It was tapped once, we sold, then it got disrespected with an impulsive move. I've said it to us before that the blueprint is into disrespect, the impulsive move that breaks above the key level, right? And also the key level must be overlapping in imbalance. I'm tired though. Somebody keeps on muting his mic. I don't know who this person is. So if you come to the 4 hours right now, let me show us some things that happen, right? So if you come to the 4 hours, you can see that this is also the 4-hour key level as well, right? That is overlapping inside of this imbalance, right? You see, this next 4-hour low is going to serve as our internal range liquidity. So it still satisfies those conditions that the market is going to attack liquidity and rebalance and hold imbalance at this specific pricing level. If he doesn't mute his mic, I'll remove him, don't worry. So, but if you see all of these moves to the downside, so we know that if you study the short video we did on range circle, we know that this is an high that needs to go. This is also an high that needs to go, right? This is also an high. Overall, this is like the overall high that also needs to go, right? You can see all of these things that are happening here. But that is not our primary focus. I want to train you to our highs to be able to see the same setup. So this same setup you can see on the 4 hours. A key level that's A-shaped key level that got disrespected with an impulsive move that is also overlapping inside of an imbalance. This current 4-hour candle is going to serve as a what? It's going to serve as internal range liquidity. So it helps us to satisfy the condition that the market is going to attack liquidity and rebalance imbalance at this specific pricing level. So you can see we tapped here and we started to run. So but if you now pay attention to all the things that happened, so if you miss, for example, if you missed out on this particular move on the 4 hours, if you missed on this one, right, look at other opportunities. The same thing. This was the same way we traded GU all through last week, all through this week. So what can you see here? Nothing is clear here, right? Nothing is clear. Price tapped in, got activated. Nothing is really clear, right? So now, but when you pay attention to the most recent price action, what can you find here? Look at this. This 30-minute slow is going to serve as internal range liquidity. We also have this particular key level here, right? Move to the line chart. This is a key level, A-shaped key level that got disrespected. I told you it get disrespected with an impulsive move to the upside, and it is also overlapping inside of an imbalance. So what did you notice that price did? It satisfied the two conditions again: attack liquidity, rebalance this imbalance at this specific pricing level. This is A-shaped key level. So what did price do? You can see we tapped there, momentum kicked in, right? The moment momentum kicked in, what can you find again? If you miss the first entry, this first entry on the 4 hours, and you miss the second entry here that happened here, right? Look at the next entry again, right? Move to the line chart. What can you find, right? You can find this is an A-shaped key level, right? What happened with that A-shaped key level? It got disrespected with an impulsive move to the upside. Close above it as a body. This next 30 minutes candle is going to serve as a what? Internal range liquidity. Repeat the same thing. What means that this next 30 minutes candle is going to serve as a what? It's going to serve as internal range liquidity. So it still brings to mind the price is going to do two things for us: attack liquidity and also rebalance and hold imbalance at this specific pricing level. So if you missed the first one, so you can see you don't have any reason to begin to chase price. If you miss this first one at the 4 hours level, you miss the second one at this 30 minutes. If you were still on the charts, you can see if you miss this one. So you have 3 entries already on gold already. So if you miss those ones, which one would you have played again? Pay attention to the 30 minutes. What can you find? This next 30 minutes candle also is going to serve as a what? Internal range liquidity, right? You can see price did not come back there, except we are going to use maybe any of all of these weeks that are resting here, right? If we use 15, let's say 15 minutes. Just mute your mics, please. Or let me use 45 minutes. Are you seeing how beautiful this is, right? So I'm gonna show no, okay, I think it's on 30 minutes. I saw this on one of our guys' chats. Okay, so this would have been a missed one. I hope we're learning, right? These are times if price wants to tap a key level overlapping, it will break out. Does it mean it has changed direction? Okay, I'm going to answer your question. It didn't tap anything reasonable. I had it set up. Okay, beautiful. This third setup, and this is like the 4th entry, right? It didn't really tap anything reasonable. I've been trying to search for if there was anything at all that it even tap, right? I can't seem to spot anything, right? Except for, I think Dixon and some other guys would know this. I mean, we can call this a miss because this is a key level here that got tested here once, disrespected, tested it here, you know, but there's no point, right? We're just following the same setup over and over and over again, right? So if you come to the 30 minutes time frame, you will find that this would have been a missed one. So imagine gold presented 4 opportunities today, this week, just only today alone self. It presented 4 opportunities. First one on the 4 hours, second one was on this 30 minutes, third one was on this same 30 minutes again. The 4th one was at this point. But this 4th one now, if you miss those first 3, if you play this 4th one, it was already a miss, right? Just this week alone, just today, I mean Friday. So can you see why patience is everything? I mean, if you even look at yesterday, this is Thursday. What can you find in this same Thursday setup? The same thing. Look at this. We had a key level that is resting here, a V-shaped key level that is resting. Let's clear the chart. Let's make it clean a bit. Oh, on GBE there was a tap. I caught it on my broker, but it did. Okay. GBE. Okay, thank you. So if you look at gold on 30 minutes for yesterday, again, the same thing, right? We have the same thing, right? Resting here, right? We have this V-shaped key level when you move to the line chart, right? We had this V-shaped key level. Price broke it and disrespected with an impulsive move, came back again. So you can see we are coming to rebalance this imbalance. Are you seeing now? There's a difference. Pay attention to price. Why did price not do a deep retracement, right? When it was coming to rebalance this imbalance, why did it stop at this pricing level? Why did price stop at this pricing level before moving, right? Now pay attention to this one. Why is it that for this one, this is a V-shaped key level that got disrespected with an impulsive move? This is the imbalance that is resting here. Why did price do a deep retracement before the momentum kicked in? Because this is where the V-shaped key level that got disrespected is resting. It came to seek that same level again, right? This was where it was tested the first time, then it got disrespected and impulsive move. Price came here. You can see that for the case of these ones, it is quite different. These ones, you can see all of this imbalance resting here. Why did price not do a deep retracement? Why did it stop here? Why did price actually stop here for this one? Why did it stop here? Right? Why did price stop here? Why did price stop here? Why did he not do deep retracement? Why did he not do deep retracement? Why did he not do deep retracement? Like this one here, we have this imbalance. This guy did a complete rebalancing, but the moment he got to this V-shaped key level that was tested and price got disrespected with an impulsive move, look at what price did. He came back and he started to drop. Momentum kicked in, right? If you follow, in fact, we are still on, oh God, we are still on gold. We have not even moved. I've not even done anything. We have not even, well, don't worry, Sha. Today is Friday now. Nobody is in a haste to go anywhere, right? Except if you want to go to the club, you can go. There's still time. This is 11:45. But we are here, right? We are here. We're having a good time. All right. So if you look at gold, right, all through this week, sorry. Yes, now anybody wants to go should go. All right. If you remember what I said to us on gold on the weekly time frame, pay attention to the same thing where I was talking about most recent breakout, right? If you move to the line chart, you will see that on the 4 hours time frame, as much as we know, right? Look at this. We know that this guy is still bullish, right? Because we had this most recent breakout, right? As much as we know that this guy is still bullish after this most recent breakout, you know, we needed to get a little bit of retracements and all of those things, right? And the reason why we needed to get those retracements was because of this imbalance that needs to, this is an imbalance that needs to be rebalanced. Price came back to this specific pricing level, right? So you remember, you know why we needed to get our retracement. So for the retracement, look at this. What happened here? Pay attention to the most recent breaks, right? Look at this. We had this lower low, lower high, lower low. If you move to the line chart, oh God, what is this now? So if you move to the line chart, right? If you move to the line chart, where is the most recent breakout on the 4 hours? This is the most recent breakout. Now we know that we want to get a retracement. This is the most recent breakout. Are you seeing it now? Right? We had this most recent breakout on the 4 hours, right? We broke out. We needed to come back to this. The retracement is going to be short term, right? So if you look at what price did here, we had this most recent breakout. What do we have here? This is our A-shaped key level that is also resting here. So two major key levels are actually here. We have the A-shaped key level 1. We also have this open close that was created because of this two consecutive candles to the downside created this open close. So you can see contextually, we want to catch this reversal now. What happened here? We had the most recent breakout on the 4 hours here that broke out here. Price came back. Look at this. So remember what I told you. I told us that if you want to build a bias, if price rejects the daily key level, move one time frame lower to the 4 hours. 4 hours gives to you a breakout. If you are building your bias from the 4 hours, move one time frame lower to the 1 hour or 30 minutes. 30 minutes should be like your last resort, right? So if you now pay attention to what price did here, we had this place on the 4 hours, right? So most recent breakout on the 4 hours was here. So if you look at this 4 hour rejected 4 hours, did you remember what happened on the weekly time frame? I was showing you something that repeated. Two consecutive candles to the upside created an open close. We engulfed. So what is the context behind what happened here? Two consecutive candles created two consecutive candles to the upside created an open close. So two things happened. Number one, we engulfed, and number two, we broke below this open close. So what are we going to do? This next 4 hour candle is going to serve as our what? Internal range liquidity, right? Where did price come back to? The open close that was disrespected, right? Are you seeing that now? And you can see how momentum kicked in. The moment we tap into the key level that is right, you can see how momentum kicked in. This was for news on Thursday, right? But if we now say, let's say we want to investigate what really happened. So we have 4 hour rejecting 4 hours. This is the 4 hour rejecting 4 hour. It closed below. Now let's move one time frame lower to the 1 hour time frame. So you can see this was the 4 hour reject 4 hours that closed below. So on the 1 hour time frame, can you spot the most recent breakout? Yes, this is the most recent breakout that we have on the 1 hour. We broke to the downside, right? That was the most recent break. And you can see that most recent break that we had, right? We created for us a V-shaped key level that is actually resting near 1. That V-shaped key level was tested like twice. Price disrespected all of this. Look at this. Disrespected it with an impulsive move to the downside, right? And we had that this way, price disrespected it with an impulsive move to the downside. And after price did that, right, you can see where price came back to again, right? So if you were planning to play this place, right, this would have been a missed entry. But if let's say, for example, you consider playing this 1 hour week, right? Let's go to the 30 minutes. What's happening? People already connecting with themselves here. I thought we were all here to learn. People already asking hotel. Okay, we can use 1 hour open close. Oh, beautiful. Thank you. Let's go to the 1 hour. I don't want to get distracted, right? 1 hour open close. Oh, yeah. So this is the key level that is resting here. This is the 1 hour open close that is resting here. You can see how it is overlapping inside of that same imbalance as well, right? So you can see, right? 4 hour rejected, 4 hour, 1 hour gave to us a breakout. Now the breakout, you can see the key level is overlapping inside of this imbalance. Tapped into it, momentum kicked in, right? And it satisfied all the conditions. So if you understand our teaching on range circle, you see that this was the next low that needs to go. This is the last low that needed to go, right? And you can see how we took out all of those lows by just building a simple context, right? The simple context was from the 4 hours. The first thing you want to see is that 4 hour rejected. We had a 4 hour breakout to the downside. 4 hour rejected, 4 hour close below. We move one time frame lower, and 4 hour rejected, 4 hour close below. Then 1 hour gave to us a breakout. This was the most recent breakout. Then we had an open close that is also overlapping inside of this imbalance that is resting here, right? Price came back. What is it going to do? Attack liquidity and rebalance an old imbalance. What is going to serve as our liquidity? This 1 hour high here is going to serve as our liquidity, right? So it's attack liquidity, rebalance this old imbalance at this specific pricing level, this open close, tapped into it, and you can see how momentum kicked in. So if you missed the first entry on the 4 hours, you were not so sure. If you miss this entry on this 1 hour, you were not so sure. This was the next entry you should be able to use again. Look at this. Spot the next breakout on the 1 hour. This is the next breakout on the 1 hour that we have here. We broke out here on the 1 hour. You can see that breakout on the using the line chart. So you can see that what we had on this 1 hour, spot what we have. 2 consecutive candles to the downside created for us an open close. So it also created for us a V-shaped key level after it engulfed, right? So normally we're supposed to respect it and buy, but you can see how we disrespected it with an impulsive move to the downside. Now the V-shaped key level is overlapping inside of this imbalance that is resting here. So what will price do, right? Price is coming back again. So what is the context for this second entry, the third entry, if you have missed the first and the second one? The context for this third entry is that we had a breakout on the 1 hour. We had a V-shaped key level that got disrespected. Price came back to that same level. You can see we ignored the open close here. We also ignored the A-shaped key level here, right? So you can see what the price do. Price tapped into this V-shaped key level and dropped, right? So we have about 2 minutes more, and we are just looking at gold alone. We've not even looked at GU. We've not even looked at a but yeah. Yes, H4 is a very powerful time frame, very powerful. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not even going to lie to you. And everybody, Aman Stacks is my friend, is my brother. He's on the group, he's on this call. He has always been a person, right? I want us to support him, right? We're going to share his, I think he has a Telegram link or something like that, right? There's no monopoly anywhere, right? Aman drops gems. If I was to put, sorry, let me nosedive a bit, right? If I was to list the number of names of people that people should follow to learn from on Twitter, I would put the following names: Aman Stacks, I'm going to put Schofield, I'm going to put Links, I'm going to put Ace, I'm going to, a lot of them. I mean, I'm not even going to lie to you. I'm going to put them, these guys, right? So you guys give him a follow, right? So we have 1 minute and a few seconds left, but you can see, did you spot this with your eye? Why did price come back to this point, right? V-shaped key level that got disrespected. I explained this thing in our last commentary, right? A V-shaped key level that got disrespected is supposed to be used for a sell. Now it was disrespected again with an impulsive move. That means we are going to still use that same key level for a buy. The beautiful thing is that this same key level is also overlapping inside of these 2 imbalances that are resting here. Look at why price came back to. Why did it come back here? And why did momentum kick in here? Why did it not come to the open close? Why did it not come to the V-shape here? Why did it not come to this? Why did momentum kick in here? Right? So Okay, so what we are going to do is we have about 73 people on the call. Semira Eze is my friend and my brother as well. He trades only gold, and I'm giving a big shout out to him as well. I mean, he's an excellent trader. I'm not even gonna lie, right? So big shout out to you. So we have 73 people on the call. I want to share another link. We are still going down the rabbit hole tonight. So I'll share another link. If you know you want to join, you can join. If you want to go to bed, you can go to bed. So see you with the other link in a few seconds.